Welcome to Sasa and Goff live recorded. I'm Sasha.
I'm Goff.
And this is another podcast episode. On this week's episode, we will be talking about what sucks about living in the Midwest.
That's
Top
right.
3 things.
Top
This
three.
is, once again, we did not do, this is not a official research situation.
No.
This is a
Personal opinion.
opinions
Yeah.
as to why. Now, living in the Midwest, obviously you think of certain things. It could go generic.
Yeah.
We'll see if it does.
Yeah, mine, admittedly, I mean, we'll get there, but mine probably, and it's not like I just came up with these, but it was like, because I remember when I texted you that, I was like, oh, make sure you add to the bucket things that suck about getting old and why the Midwest sucks. So I think this was more a topic.
Okay.
So that's why I was just like, okay, all right, but yeah, I could come up with 3 things.
I
so.
liked it. It made me think a little bit, and I think I got some stuff that's not what you were expecting. I had a hard problem differentiating from living in the Chicago area to the Midwest area. And so I kept
mine's
going
mostly
like,
Chicago.
Yeah.
But
all right, well, we don't follow the rules on this podcast.
no,
Anyway,
rule breakers, baby.
basically how we got this topic is that a bucket came down from the ceiling, and we picked a topic from said bucket. We do this at the end of every episode, and it's what we will talk about on the next week. After we talk this week, bucket pops down, we pull it out, we know what we're going to talk about for next week.
Yes.
That being said, if you want to add your own topics, which, by the way, we got a bunch
Please
this
do.
week.
Oh, do oh,
We got
awesome.
a bunch this
All
week.
right.
So I want you to know there's a couple ways that you can do this. One, you can email us, sasaandgoff@gmail.com. Just let us know what topic you want us to do a top 3 on. Could be top 3, could be bottom 3. I'll talk about that in a second.
Oh.
The other way that you could submit stuff is if you know me or Goff, you just text one of us and then hope that person remembers to put it in the bucket.
Yes.
I would like the people who sent in stuff this week, I want you to know I did it. I was able to put all of your stuff in the bucket. I didn't forget. I didn't delete it. I didn't get lazy. So we've added more stuff. That bucket's getting pretty full. It's pretty crazy.
It's going to just drop soon.
Well, it is on this week twine.
It's creaking.
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought you had large pubes on your desk earlier, and I realized it was just the twine that was coming off the thing.
No, I've been putting them there throughout the week, just collecting them.
I cleaned them.
Anyone who watched this newest season of The Boys can relate to Homelander in that.
I cannot.
You haven't seen it, so
I
never
cannot.
mind.
I did want to say a couple of things. So, like, last week we talked top 90s babes, right?
Yes.
We did 90s babes. So, in the interest of fairness, I added top 90s hunks to the thing.
Okay.
Right?
That'll work. All right.
Right. We're, if anything, we are the most bi
That's right.
topic.
We're progressive.
Yeah. All right. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So I put that in there. But then it got me thinking, it was like, do we have to do this for every topic now? Like today we're doing top 3 worst things about Midwest.
Yeah.
Is it even worth putting in the top 3 cool things
best
about
things.
the,
I mean, you know what? That's actually a good point, though. Whichever side we're on for our potent notables, maybe we could quickly be like
That's
do an
true.
opposite, or at least one favorite thing, or
so that we don't have to like completely just be like,
yeah, because then
and
it's just like,
also-
man, the Midwest really sucks.
Yeah.
Nothing good about it.
and then oh man, the Midwest is great.
Yeah.
Here we like sweatshirts or whatever.
Hoodies.
I do want to ask you about sweatshirts, so I'll remember that for the next topic. But I did want to send a special shout out to our new demographic, which is older women, as my aunt and your mom have followed our Instagram page. Welcome to the group or whatever. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
You know what? I guarantee you my mom's not listening, so it's fine. So I guarantee, like, she probably did it to support us, and that's fine. And again, if you just click the episode for 90 seconds or so, we'll take it. But
here's what I did. What happened? You put a clip up of me as a backyard wrestler.
Yes.
My aunt followed us immediately.
Nice.
And I'm like, this is horrible.
Any other pro wrestlers follow us?
Then you put a clip up of me doing Yo Mama jokes, and then your mom followed us. And I was like, oh, no, she's going to think that I'm doing these jokes. Like, I'm talking about the macro mama, not the micro mama, which could be...
Macro is small, too, isn't it?
Well, it's like overall. Instead of in between.
Yeah,
But I do have a couple more in case you wanted to.
Yeah, let's do it.
If your mom's listening, if that was her favorite part of it.
Give me 2 good ones.
I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3. Yo mama's so fat. When a car had to swerve to avoid hitting her on the road, it ran out of petrol. Petrol.
Okay. All right.
All right. Yo mama's so fat that yo papa has to kneel up in bed to see if it's daylight. Okay. All right. How about this one? Yo mama's so fat that when she rested on her laurels, they broke.
All right, that's good.
Okay,
that's
we'll
a good
take
one.
it.
I like that.
This is a great book.
Yeah.
It's not a great book. Who says petrol? Where is this from? This has.
I don't
to
know.
be...
And did they actually say "yo mama" and like "yo papa"?
Yeah.
Nice.
I wouldn't have read it if it
stuff.
said like your mother is so fat.
Hey, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, of course.
Besides this awkward tank top I'm wearing, do I look any different to you? You're looking at the hair and nothing. No. It's all in here.
Oh, okay.
It's confidence, baby, because I won my fantasy baseball league last week. Woo! Yeah, I know you don't care about that, but come on. At least you give me praise for this very tedious thing, which goes for like 25 weeks, checking it daily.
I will
set
say
my
this.
lineup.
Congratulations for being the only person in that league to keep up with it.
I'll take it.
Is that what it is? Like nobody else.
No.
keeps up with it.
I mean, like, you know, I beat my dad actually in the finals, and he's the one. He's the guy every week. He's like, yeah, you know, it's just something to hold us over until football, which is actually what the league is called. This
Solid
will do
impression.
until football, but he's the guy that's on there every single day doing the same stuff, and yeah, I kicked his ass.
Well, I don't give you props for the actual winning of it. Because
Thank you. I'll take the props.
It's horrible, but I would like to say that the Chicago White Sox had 17 people at a game. Did you see this?
I mean, probably. I've seen so many different clips.
They also did a double header where there was 98 at both games, and I'm like, those are our type of numbers.
Yeah.
We could be.
Yeah, we could literally podcast at the Sox game and probably get more people.
Do we know anybody? Can we make this happen?
Possibly.
Sox person. Look. Bulls. Bull Sox. There's a
Jerry
connection.
Reinsdorf can do it for us.
Jerry, you're the worst owner in all of sports. But come on, let's do our podcast in your
We will bring in a few bucks.
No, we won't.
No.
And
probably not.
Yeah, it won't be good. Anyway, what?
I had one more stupid thing I had to say real quick.
You gasped. You audibly
yes,
gasped.
Because it was like, can't forget this one.
I
but
thought you saw
just,
the pubes.
I didn't want you to get like into something longer here. This is very quick. This is more just like my ignorance. So on many of these episodes, you have mentioned the comedian Mark Normand. I know who that is now. Every time I was nodding before and saying I know that guy, I was thinking of Mark Maron.
Oh,
so
excellent.
it's like, yeah,
Excellent.
It's okay. And then it's like when I was watching Kill Tony or whatever, and it's like, that's the guy. Okay, I got it. This makes way more sense now that's who he's talking about, not Mark Maron.
So do you like Mark Normand?
Yeah.
Or do you know Mark?
I haven't watched, like, pretty much all the stuff I've seen is him just with others, because I'm still on, like, a Shane Gillis kick and still watching a lot of Kill Tony. So, but yeah, Normand, when he contributes, yes, he's very funny.
I did want to say, tank top, by the way, solid.
No muscles.
My wife doesn't allow me to wear tank tops. She says
she barely let me in the house.
She says no real man wears tank tops.
She's right.
Definitely not in this house.
Yeah.
And but she laughs every week because there's like 3 tank tops in the laundry. Because when she's not home, I'm all tank all the time.
Damn.
But yeah, it was.
So like when you hear the car peeling or like pulling in,
I hear the garage door go up, and I'm just like,
oh
whoa,
jeez,
whoa,
God.
Whoa, put a dress on, do what I gotta do.
Whatever, even if it's a dress, it's fine. One of her dresses.
Solid tank, but I do have a question because you are someone who is transitioning. Actually, you have transitioned, just not fully. You have transitioned from like cool party dad. I mean, not dad, party dude.
Yeah.
To great husband / dad.
I'll take it.
Right? You've gone on. Yeah. You've grown as a person.
I think
you like lawn care. You didn't like lawn care before.
I mean, I've always kind of liked lawn care, but now I respect it more.
Okay, you're big into cicadas.
Yes,
that's something that that shows growth as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
You're
that I can educate other people on cicadas. Yes.
So you're total dad. You texted me recently about how you were You saw somebody out in the wild.
Yes.
Talking about lawnmowers. I don't even remember what it was that you guys were talking about. And I was like, in the wild. You're not in the wild.
Yeah,
you're doing something as a dad. And you're like, no, I'm out. And then you sent me a picture. You were like at a football game for your daughter.
High
was
school football
part
game,
of the halftime show or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very dad stuff.
I was still out in the wild, though. There were a few thousand people there, I'm guessing. So
very delusional dad stuff on your end.
But, all right, hold on real quick, though. I just have to say, no, I didn't talk with the guy. I was in line getting, which was hilarious because I'm like, I hadn't eaten anything, so I asked Joni, I'm like, I'm going to get something. You want anything? She's like, how about a hot pretzel? I'm like, no. Like,
Unbelievable.
anything else you could have. But, no, the guy walked past me, and he had an awesome shirt, and it just said, dad jokes are how I roll, but it was EYE, like I roll. So, yeah, and I did try to make contact with him because I wanted to be like, hell yeah, bro, but...
And so the awesome shirt he was wearing was under that shirt, or where was that shirt? Anyways, so to complete the transition of a dad, I believe that you have to go from wearing certain clothing to wearing certain clothing. Now, me and you have talked off air, and you've told me you like New Balance, which to me it shows that you are a dad. About 99%. I'm not a New Balance guy.
All right.
I think we have a top 3 shoe brands, or maybe bottom 3 shoe brands. And if we don't have it in the bucket, it's going to be in the bucket.
Okay.
I'm not a New Balance guy. I don't like them unless they want to give me some. Jerry Reinsdorf, send me some New Balance.
Yeah, he's the New Balance guy too.
But I do think there is a certain thing, and I didn't know how to answer this question because I'm not sure that I've ever seen you wearing this specific item. I know you're a hoodie guy, right? You love
absolutely.
your hoodies, whatever. Are you a crew neck sweatshirt man?
You know what? Not really, because it drives me nuts not having the pocket in the front. Because for some reason, I can't. Like, if I'm wearing a long sleeve T-shirt, it's a different feeling. I know I'm not wearing like a hoodie. So yes, in my mind, whenever I have a sweatshirt on, I'm always, damn it. Yeah. So I mean, I'll wear them, but I think, in all honesty, the only ones I own are ones that were issued to me through my work. So if I wear them, it's at work.
If you were against them, but have never tried wearing one, and then like once you put it on as a dad, you're like, oh my god,
yeah, like it just transitioned into
perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a fair enough answer. So you like the long sleeve shirt though?
Long sleeve. I'll wear no. You know what? Probably not. To answer your question, I would say I don't prefer them.
So you're a t-shirt and a hoodie guy.
Yeah. Zip. It doesn't have to be zip up. Could be a pullover. It's got to have the pocket though.
Okay. And tanks.
Yes.
Tanks for sure.
Tanks.
Last week we were also talking about 90s babes. We were talking about them, and we brought up Myra from the Urkel show. I did.
Family Matters.
Yes. And you said that was Waldo Geraldo Faldo's girlfriend. My wife Megan got pissed. Because Myra was the stalker of Urkel. So she was mad at you.
Okay.
And then she was mad at me for not correcting you. So
I can picture the one.
I kind of remembered it. I didn't think she was Waldo's girlfriend, but I couldn't figure out what exactly she was. And then
she's Laura's best friend, right? The other one, not Myra. The other one I was thinking of that dated Waldo. Or did he date anyone?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
The other friend, I totally forgot about.
Yeah.
We don't watch the show. However, here's a little side note for you. Dancing with the Stars came out, the roster for this new season.
Wow. Okay.
Carl Winslow's on it.
There you go.
So, Jerry Reinsdorf, send us a Carl Winslow shirt.
Yeah,
I don't know. I got nothing.
Do it. I mean...
So we got tank tops, we got Myra, we got you've fully transitioned, even though you don't believe in crew neck sweatshirts. That's interesting.
What about like just I guess polos are like probably as I don't know, when I feel like dad clothing.
Yeah.
I don't wear like sweater vests or anything like that, or any kind of the puffer vest where there's no sleeves to them.
I just picture you doing yard work in a crew neck sweatshirt.
Crew neck sweatshirt.
Every day I wake up and that's what I think about.
I do my yard work and whatever I woke up in that day, which is usually just what I went to, well, obviously.
Excellent. I have a question for you. Have you ever done this? This is a common thing that happens all the time. Have you ever ordered a Vlade Divac bobblehead that you already have?
I don't think... No, I always just get new ones.
See, I ordered this Vlade Divac bobblehead, and if you look up there, I already have it.
Was that just because you couldn't reach that one?
No, I totally thought this was a different one, and it got offered to me for like $4, and I was like, I can't pass it. But I'm so lazy that I didn't come to check. I just assumed that I didn't have this one. Oh. And now I have an extra Vlade Divac bobblehead. Do you want this Vlade Divac bobblehead?
I mean, I'd be kind of a dick to say no.
If you don't want it, I can send it in the mail to somebody who will accept it.
In all honesty, no, you could just...
Okay, then...
I'll be honest.
Hattori Henzo, you got a Vlade Divac bobblehead coming your way.
It's funny you say that, though, because I'm collecting the Parks and Rec figures, and it's like, I ordered one on eBay, like, yesterday, and it was like, I actually had to go downstairs real
And
quick
take a
just to
look
make
at
sure
it.
I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm smart.
The last thing that I wanted to bring up this week, I think, is just a shout out to our dear friend Pete. You know, Pete, DJ Pano. He sent me a message. I don't talk to Pete very regularly.
I talk to people, like, I don't know, a couple times a week. We talk about movies all the time.
I love Pete. He's one of my favorite people I've ever met. Our story of meeting is kind of funny because, like...
I remember it. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. The license plate.
Yeah. Find out in some other episode.
Bitter Marks episode 62. I don't know.
Okay. That might be accurate.
It's probably later than that.
But he sent me a text message. I haven't talked to him in a while. I think the last time I talked to him, he came to my house at midnight to give me VHS tapes.
Nice.
So that was
nothing weird
excellent.
about that either.
No, not
Pete.
at all. And so he texted me and he was like, dude, I thought of you immediately when I saw this. And he sent me Paula Poundstone's tour dates. She is coming to play in Glen Ellen, Illinois, I believe at the College of DuPage. And you're reaching for something. Is Paula Poundstone in your bag? Oh, there it is. Yeah, for behind the scenes, you can't see it, but there are 25 Paula Poundstone VHS surrounding. It's the first comedy show I ever saw in my life.
Why it's in my bag.
But yeah, I just wanted to thank Pete for sending that information over. I don't know that I'd go see Paula Poundstone. I might, but I don't think so. I don't think so because I'm really having a tough time with concert prices. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, that's all I got for this week. Anything interesting going on in your world you want to bring up?
No, I mean, you kind of already shamed me for going out Friday night to a football game. No, we, actually, I mean, that a more exciting weekend, because we had the football game, which, funny, real quick, I'm hanging out with one of the other dads, which is a funny story in itself because I went to high school with this guy, but we weren't friends in high school, and we haven't been ever since. But our wives met at a soccer game, and they became really close, like, instantaneous. And then Joni came home, and she's like, do you know, she said his name, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I went to school with him. I wasn't friends with them, and so now we, like, hang out. We hang out, like, when there's, like, events and stuff. So
I have the same thing. I mean, not that, like, we hang out with a different person, but, like, you see different people from around town, and you're like, oh, like, I know you, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like, I've never...
So, well, his last name, though, is very close to mine, so we sat next to each other a lot, but still weren't friends because it was, like, we went to different middle schools, but we knew each other. But, yeah, so the whole time I thought Glenbard South was getting the shit kicked out of him. So it was like 28 to nothing, 35, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I realized, I don't know, maybe in baseball at least, the home team is always the second scorer because, like they always bat second. I thought maybe they did that with every sport, so I was just looking at the wrong side. But we were on the other end of the stadium, so it's like I couldn't see home and guess, but it's like, oh, we're winning. So at halftime when we left, it was 49 to nothing. It's like, wow. I don't know if this is a really good team or if West Chicago High School is just garbage. So
your life continues to be so exciting on a weekly basis.
Yeah, isn't it though? And then last night we did something crazy. We rented a movie on Amazon.
Whoa.
Like, have you guys done that? Like, paid full price for one? Like when it's like $24.99 or
not that much, but like if there's something like a documentary or something, like I've bought the some No Effects thing a long time ago, a couple of years ago. There was also a not Blockbuster, Tower Records documentary that was like, you could only get it. It was for sale at the time.
Okay.
Tom Hanks' kid made it.
Colin?
Yeah.
I like him.
The good one. Yeah.
That's the only one I know of.
I think the other one's like crazy and Tom Hanks doesn't talk to him or something. I don't know. I don't want to spread rumors about Tom Hanks.
He's up there with the other Osborne sister that people are like, wait, there's another one because she wasn't on the show, so no one knew about her. Yeah,
but I've paid for like things if here or there, like if you can't find them, but not regularly.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we did last night because
Night Court instead or whatever.
Natty wanted to watch the new Inside Out movie, and it like we checked theaters. It must have just gotten out, so it was $25, but. It's like the three of us watching it. If we went to the theater, it's still cheaper just watching it at home. Great movie, by the way. That's all I'll say.
Inside Out?
Inside Out 2, yeah.
Is that like Pixar or something?
I was waiting for like a clever response.
No,
yes,
no, I have
Disney,
no clever
Pixar.
responses. I heard it was a like good, but maybe almost sad or something.
This,
or...
no joke, was like teary-eyed at the
Yeah.
end, because the thing is, though, the story they're telling in this one is very relatable to my older daughter Sadie, just the age of what's going on, and it's like I'm seeing. It's just the writing is fantastic. I mean, like, because it's just about the emotions in your head and how it's a great movie. I would say check out the first one's on Disney Plus. The second one will be in, I think, like a week or two. So.
I wasn't writing it down I was just scribbling stuff to see if my pen still worked.
That's
because
fine.
I'm not gonna watch it, but I have heard good things
Yeah.
about it, so I have nothing clever to say about it. I apologize.
No, that's all good. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right, which
Crazy
means
weekend.
let's talk about what's going on inside of us. Hormones, other
Let's
things.
talk about
such as
Inside
that.
Out too.
What's inside of us? This is when we talk about stuff that we either have watched or listened to or whatever. There's really no rules.
Products.
It could have just been the entire first half of the show. We could have just called that Inside Out, or we could just continue talking and not call this anything.
Yeah.
We could just keep talking. But we choose not to. So what's going on inside you? You want to start? I want to start. How many
I'll
you got?
start it off.
Okay.
I just got a couple. I got some pretty new things, actually, though. The first one is Beetlejuice. Are you a fan of the... I'm guessing you didn't see this yet, did you? The
No,
sequel?
this is the second Beetlejuice.
Yes.
No,
Have you ever seen the original?
no.
That I highly recommend it. I really think that's an 80s movie I think you'll like. Well, it's very late 80s. It might be like 89. Might even be early 90s. But either way, Michael Keaton is just fantastic in that one. The only thing I'm going to say about this one, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's like they did a good job, I think, with like the set pieces and everything. Like they did a good job, but the plot is terrible. There's so much going on, and it's like Michael Keaton's not as funny in this one because like you could the voice isn't as good, and obviously it's been 37 years or whatever, and he still looks good because it's just a ton of makeup, so you can't really tell. But yeah, he's just not as like wacky and animated, and
I've been looking into it. Like I think we're gonna go see it in the theater, but I wanted to watch the first one.
Watch the first one. I really think you'll like it.
And I noticed that this one is the new one is an hour 45, and
pretty nice.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's what the people want. No one wants these 3-hour.
Yeah, no, I was very happy when I saw the runtime. Next up, I got some music, actually. I got two music things. The first one, new music from Striper.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
80s
right.
glam rock Christian band. They put out a new album called When We Were Kings. This just came out 2 days ago on the 13th, I think it was. I was talking about MXPX like weeks ago, talking about how his voice is still great, Mike Herrera. This guy too, Robert Sweet, the lead singer, and I mean, like, these guys, their first album came out like around when I was born, when we were born, and I mean, it's been the same lineup pretty much. I think they've swapped out the bass player. That's it.
Christian metal band.
Yeah, and they
I only laugh because they're older than us.
Yeah.
That's why I laugh that you're like, I got the new Striper.
No,
bro.
you know what? Like I'm not gonna make it sound like I'm a Striper super fan. My brother like still loves them, so he's always keeping me in the loop because it was one of our first favorite bands. You know, it was when we were kids.
I think our friend
And-
Useless Dave, 1988 Tops, get it in. This is the last week you're up here. We're taking this down.
Yeah, next week it's just gonna be Blue,
Just blue wall.
unless when you donate a buck. But anyway, yeah, the album itself, it's got a couple bangers on there, but for the most part, it's kind of boring, actually. So,
All right, but, hey.
but it's still awesome. They're putting out music. It's still, yeah, a few of the songs wail. It's awesome.
I'm getting like way more into appreciating even bands I don't like.
That's kind of where I'm at with this one, because
Yeah.
they're playing a show, I believe, sometimes maybe in the next month or two. And my brother had asked me if I wanted to go, but he started off the thing with, be honest. So he's like, if we got tickets, would you want to go? And I was like, in all honesty, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I know like one album by them, and then this new one, there's like 7 or 8 in between. But yeah, anyway, and then the last thing, you probably heard this, maybe not, the new Less Than Jake EP.
I did, and I'm not a fan personally. I don't think it's bad. I just think here's some more Less
It's
Than
kind
Jake
of
songs.
redundant. I really feel like you could listen to all 4 songs and it's like, when did the second track or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's
The
just...
second track has that weird beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only thing that was kind of different
But it's...
to me. But.
Yeah, I mean, it still sounds good. It's produced well. They still sound like a good band. It's just they're kind of just putting out yeah.
I got a lot to say about Less
I know
Than
these
Jake.
are part of an album that's coming up, so I mean...
I have a lot to say about Less Than Jake because our dear friend Bishop, me and him had a conversation a couple months ago about Less Than Jake. And I was talking about how, like, to me, after, what's it called? Last One Out of Liberty City, Burned to the Ground. That album?
Hello Rockview.
Hello Rockview. I kind of downhill after that.
I agree.
Borders and Boundaries, when that album came out, I was like, this is garbage. I'm done with this band. Forget about it.
Okay.
Bishop is of the opposite. He loves the early stuff. Like, we listened to Pezcore, we listened to Hello Rockview, all that stuff, you know, Losing Streak. Yeah, great albums. Love Less Than Jake. Saw him a billion times then. And I fell off after Hello Rockview. He still liked them after that. And now he likes them. He says, like, he likes the older albums more than the earlier albums because, like, he has changed. Like, he's an older person and he relates more to, like, that stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm a child and I can only take the first 3 albums of any band, and anything after that is, you know, whatever. So what I did for that, I went back and I listened to every Less Than Jake album, including the ones I'd never listened to because I gave up on them.
There's a couple slogs in there, yeah.
I went in there, I listened, I agree mostly with it, and then there's like a couple bangers in later albums that I was like, oh, yeah, they're still putting out good stuff.
You'll still get them here and there. But
then I felt bad for like giving up on Less Than Jake because that's not what you do. Like, people put out their artwork. Here it is. Listen to it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Right? I'm not going to listen to it if I don't like it. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to put good stuff out again. It's like now with The Offspring is a band that has recently started putting stuff out again. And like, oh, there was a song in there. The first one they put out, it was like, this is The
where
Offspring?
have you guys been?
Yeah. And so I have like a lot more appreciation for Less Than Jake going through the albums again. I started listening to their Singers podcast. He has a podcast that breaks down music.
Krista makes.
He had Trevor. Krista Makes a Podcast is what it's called. And he had Trevor from a Wilhelm Scream on it, breaking down songs. It was really good.
I saw a little bit of that.
But yeah, so because of Bishop, I feel like I grew a little bit musically. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm not like, when I was young, I was like angry that they put out this Borders and Boundaries. Like, why would you make this? This is horrible. And now I'm like, that's what they put out. That's what they were feeling. That's what they wanted to do. And, you know, they put this new EP out. I was like, let me listen to it. I'm like, it's all right.
Yeah.
That's just what I feel about it. And then let's move on. They put something else out. I'm going to listen to it. Roger, my favorite, maybe bassist in punk. Like, his voice, fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You don't like Roger?
No. I like Roger.
You hate Roger? Say it.
You hate him? No, I always thought, I mean, they have similar voices. You can tell the difference, but I mean, you know, they're similar, like they're kind of little.
They can get high. Like, very, very up there.
No, I mean, like, Less Than Jake is, they'll always be one of my favorite bands. I mean, just like, their stage presence and everything, too, they're fantastic.
Last summer, I went to see them, or this summer, I think it was last summer, I went to see them. They did the like 20-year anniversary or whatever it was of Hello Rockview.
Nice.
And they played like the whole album, and
that is
I was like a kid again. Like, it's a great show. It's always a great show. Voodoo Glow Skull's open.
Nice.
It was just like, this is good stuff. So I'm glad I've kind of gotten back into Less Than Jake after years of just giving up on them.
Yeah, it's not like a band that I'm like actively looking forward to new stuff, but it's like when it's there, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, and same with you though. I mean, like, I'm not gonna keep going back to this. Like, oh, I gotta listen to it so it's in my head so I know. And it's like, it is what it is. And like I said before, these are 4 songs coming off of an upcoming release, so we'll hear them again eventually. So, how about you?
That's it. That's all you got.
That's all I got.
All right. What's inside me? Corn dogs.
Nice.
Love corn dogs.
Yeah.
Eat corn dogs often. My dog has a stuffed plush corn dog. It's a, what do they call those things? Emotional support corn dog.
Okay.
She actually just bit through it. I have to find another large plush corn dog, but that's the problems that I have in my life. Okay, so I have to deal with that.
Yeah, you gotta find.
But this week I went. Me and Megan went to the Taste of Chicago.
Ooh, the big one.
I've never been to the Taste of Chicago. She's never been to the Taste of Chicago. We've lived here our entire lives, never gone to it.
Okay.
CeeLo Green played on Friday night. Unfortunately, we missed it because we went on Saturday. But we go to this thing, and I had a corn dog and 2 tacos. Like, I feel like I should have been trying other stuff.
Oh, we kind of talked about that though. It's like you go for the stuff that you know is going to be good. You know, it's like, yeah, you could try.
We talked about this already?
Well, we talked about carnival food, and you're just like, how do you like it? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty basic. I mean, I pick out the stuff I know is going to be good.
I'll say this, though. Like, they have 40, 50 vendors, whatever it is, different types of food. Megan tried, like, Filipino food, and I don't even know, like, half of the foods that she was trying. Uba, or it's like a sweet potato, or
I know
something.
boba.
No, I don't think that's my cousin. Uba Twinkies or something. It's like a sweet potato Twinkie.
Okay.
And lumpia, which I have no clue. It's like a Filipino spring roll. Like, she was doing it right.
Yeah.
And I was like, one corn dog and two.
Yeah. As your
I guess they were
just.
They were like Korean street tacos, so I guess that's like a little bit out of there.
Great,
but
man. I think we're having tacos tonight for dinner.
But it was. Have you ever been to the Taste of Chicago?
No, I don't think so.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like overcrowded and horrible.
It's not on Navy Pier, right?
No, it's
okay. Because I went to something on Navy Pier, so no, I've never been to Taste then.
And everybody has stuff. I thought it was going to be super expensive and super crowded. And every single booth has a taste menu, which is like a $5 item of like whatever big item they're selling. So if they're known for their fried chicken meal or whatever, you could get a taste of the fried chicken meal. So like you can literally try a bunch of the different places. So it's kind of
smart
nice
on them too, though, because they can get you for the extra $5 if you're then like, yeah, you know what? I'll take the the full size one.
Yeah, that's true. But it's great. Like, I did not expect to be able to spend $10 and like eat
that's good
food or whatever. And then they had like 1,000-pound cheesecake.
Yes, I saw your pictures.
Yeah, it was
I would
insane.
dive into that. I love cheesecake.
I was. Honestly, I told Megan, I was like, what would they do if I just ran into this thing? Like, I would ruin so many people's
You know what,
day.
though, would be hysterical? Because you would probably run into it just, like, maybe
break
it like a
just
couple
a little
inches
bit.
in and then just, like, fall back.
You just make a small indentation and then take a couple bites.
and then just pathetically bite a couple before the police take you away.
But, like, they're going to arrest you for running into a cake?
I mean...
What if I was, like not facing the cake and I was like, whoa!
Yeah, one of those.
You can't get arrested
You should
for
have
that.
done it.
I felt so nervous for the forklift operator.
Yeah.
Because the cake was in the back of a truck and this guy was just on a forklift and he had to like very slowly take this thing out. And that's when I was like, I want to ruin this for everybody.
Oh, God, that would have been so great. Yeah, I just imagine that just like, here we go, but then just, it's like frozen.
I think I'm a bad person for having these thoughts. Instead of like, yeah, we're all going to get a free slice of cheesecake.
Is that how it worked, actually? What was the point of this cake?
There was like a massive line. We didn't stay for it because I'm not going to stand in any line for anything, but I assumed they were going to give it away. It would have been hilarious if they just have a large dumpster that they toss it out.
Well, no, I wasn't sure if it was being transported or something, because like when they show you like the largest pumpkin, it's like, well, you can't really do anything with it except look at it.
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
But yeah, I just wasn't sure if you were being serious. Like, it was literally like, okay, now line up. We're literally going to give cheesecake to the entire city of Chicago.
I think they were giving it away, but we didn't stay. We were
How heavy was it?
1,000 pounds.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, pretty good.
Take me a week.
It was funny. One of the longest lines at the Taste of Chicago was for the Illinois lottery tent because like Mega Millions was high up or whatever, and there was just a bunch of people. They just
announced it like at the fest, and it's like, yeah, get your tickets here.
It was crazy. It was insane to see. It was like the first thing we saw when we walked in. Like, I'm like, wow, the lines are very short here, and then the Illinois lottery line was like.
I always love random shit like that at fests and stuff, like at Warped Tour, when there would be like the Verizon wireless, and it's like, even like when you walk into Costco and it's like they're trying to sell you a phone, it's like, that is not what I'm here for right now, man.
Besides that, did something that's totally against everything I believe in. I went to a arena rock show.
Oh.
I went to the Allstate Arena.
Oh, yeah.
Paid way more than I would have liked to go see anybody, really.
But I
will say this. It was worth every penny and possibly more. This was an incredible show. I saw Weezer, The Flaming Lips, and Dinosaur Jr.
Wow.
I was really going for two reasons. One, Weezer's playing the Blue album. it's the 30th anniversary of the Blue Album, if that doesn't make you feel...
Can I ask you something real quick? Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Nope.
I've never gone to any show where they've played like a, like a full album. Do they literally, do they start and end with that, or is there stuff in between, or stuff before and after, or do they go in order, or...
I'll get to it.
Okay.
I went to see them play the Blue Album. I went to see Dinosaur Jr. Dinosaur Jr., we saw last year at the Vic. They like headlined their own tour, and they were great. And so I was like, I'm really excited to see them again. They played on like a 4-foot square foot part of the stage, and the singer has like a massive amp in front of him. We couldn't even see him from where our seats were. We saw 2 people, and it was still good, but it was also like while we were walking into the stadium. So we only saw them play 5 or 6 songs, and they were great. It was like
So they played on the same, like the big stage, but it was more just like, all right, we can set you up here with not messing up everything else.
It was literally in the middle front of the stage, but they only played in like where their gear fit and in front of it. And they're not like a crazy...
The drummer was actually on the floor, like with security.
They're not like jump kick. They're all like old dudes and whatever. And it was perfectly fine. It was just like hilarious to see at the Allstate Arena, and a thing the size of this room is what they're playing on. So we saw that. Flaming Lips is a band that I've heard of my entire life. I thought they were kind of like weird.
Is that Perry Farrell?
No, that's Porno for Pyros.
Okay, then I'm not sure. Yeah, that might be in the same boat as you then. It's like maybe I was thinking of the wrong band the whole time.
So I thought they were like an energetic, more like Arcade Fire or something, where there's like a bunch of people and like I knew they were like visual arts kind of band or whatever. I was totally wrong. They were very like laid back, and I've been talking about them since the show. I loved this band live. They played... All right, so we're watching the show, and you can't talk to the person next to you. It's too loud, which kind of sucks, but whatever. They finish, and Megan looks up to me, and I was about to tell her something, and she looks up and she goes, "What did you think?" or whatever. And I was like, I literally had like 4 emotional experiences watching this band. At one point, I pointed at my arm because I got goosebumps from watching the band. Megan gets goosebumps like all the time from music. I'm like, that's a medical issue. Awesome, you have to get that checked out. I never do. But this band was like, and the music that they make is like sad and half romantic and a little Pink Floyd-y, like slower, but like, I don't even know how to describe them, but they blew my mind, and I've been listening to the songs that I loved when they played them.
Now they've been around like
40
forever.
years.
Yeah, okay.
40
I was
years.
gonna say like because we grew up with that, but yeah, I never.
Okay. I've heard a couple of their songs before, but I was like,
I probably
not too into it. But after seeing them live, it was insane, and they had all these like big blow up things and laser show and like all that kind of stuff, which I'm not a big fan of that stuff normally, but like everything fit. Everything was so cool, and you could tell that the singer was like just a genuinely nice person. Like he pulled something out of his pocket and he was like, "We've been playing here since 1992. Did anybody see us at the Metro?
Oh wow.
The Double Door." And he just went down the list, and people are cheering for everything. And then a couple songs go by, and he goes, "I have another sheet of paper here. This song goes out to Robert, whose mother passed away this week." Puts it away, and you're like, "Oh, this guy's not doing this for like a show."
It's not a bit.
Yeah, it's just like he's like, "This goes to Robert because like it's important."
Yeah,
and the song was like, it was a song about how like suddenly everything changes or whatever, and you're like, "This is deep." Like it's like. I am not a fan of this type of stuff normally, but they blew my mind that day. I came away like a big Flaming
Inside Out 2 and Flaming Lips, man, had us crying this week. I thought when you said he pulled out the paper the second time, I thought it was going to be like, if you're the owner of license plate number 2, then you and Megan had to leave.
In an effort to get less of my family members to follow our podcast on social media and to listen to this, I think we should just change the podcast name to Guys Who Cry.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good name.
Guys Who Cry.
But yeah, so they were awesome. And then Weezer, right? And I'm here for the Blue Album. my wife and I, when we got married, we played the entire Blue album over dinner.
Yep.
Like, because that's like our album. The song, not in the garage, whatever the last
Buddy
song
Holly.
is. Yeah.
I'm not familiar. Like, I know the sweater song and whatnot.
Only in
I've
Dreams.
ever...
It's the last song on the Blue album is like our song.
Nice.
Like, we didn't dance to it at our wedding because it's like 8 minutes and we're like, we just want to get out of here or whatever.
So instead we did The Decline by No Effects.
Yeah. But we were both huge Blue album fans. I had the cassette of the Blue album.
Nice.
Like it's one of my favorite albums. It's in my top 10 of all time. We're gonna do that one of these shows. Maybe our 100th episode. We do top 10 albums of all time.
Yeah, for that we'd have to do a top 10.
Yeah,
something like that.
Top 100 albums of all time.
It's a 5-hour episode.
So we were both excited. She's never seen them before. I've never seen Weezer before, shockingly enough. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we went, and they not only played the Blue album, to answer your question, but what they were doing was like, it was space themed, and it was like,
the setup was cool, at least the pictures I saw.
Yeah. There was, first it opened up, there was like a rocket ship, and they had a 5-minute countdown. 5 minutes is a long time to count down. And it was like crazy. And then like the spaceship opened and they walked out wearing like space suits. And you're like, why wouldn't you make it like 3 minutes or 2 minutes? You got to be sweating already. Yeah. And then they played like all their hits from all their albums. But it was like, basically they were on Planet Red. So they have a Red album.
Okay.
And they would play the 2 songs from that. And then now Planet Blue or Green or whatever. And the Green album. Planet White.
How many did they do like that, like color ones? Because I know they have other ones like
bunch.
Maladroit and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I know, I think they have a white, red, green, blue. I don't know past that.
Wow.
And then like Pinkerton, Maladroit. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So they played for almost 2 hours.
That's great.
Which was wild. I don't normally see bands that play for 2 hours
I've
either.
never seen a band play for 2 hours.
But the whole thing was space themed, and there was like bad acting. Like there was a big screen behind them that with like aliens and stuff, and they'd be like, "Hey, who's that?" And they'd be like, "Oh man, that's my space friend, John the alien."
This is reminding me of like the Aquabats, like weird shit like that.
Almost,
you know?
And it was so bad, like acting wise, that it was funny.
Yeah,
and like
it's purposeful.
Good. It was good. It was so good. And then when they came out to play the Blue album, what's his name? What's the singer's name?
Rivers.
Rivers was like, the only thing that we can do to save the earth is to play the Blue album. And then he had a flag with like the Weezer thing, and he hit it into the ground, and he's like, that's one small step for Weezer.
God.
Or whatever. It was so like cheesy, but
at
funny.
the moment you're just like, this is great.
And then an alien walks out and hands him a guitar, and he turns and they start playing.
Nice.
Dude, they won me over huge. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't had that fun at a like complete show in a while. And at an arena show, like, I did not expect to be like thoroughly entertained the entire time. I'm not a fan of like stage shows and all that kind of stuff, you know, like just give me the people playing the music or whatever. But everything was great and stuff's moving around, and so I'm sorry that took so long.
No, that's all right, man. That's
was
awesome.
like,
I'm glad you got to do that.
Yeah, worth every penny. You go see this tour. It's incredible. So Weezer in Space. I don't know what it's called, but that was great. And that's it. I guess since we're almost 6 hours into this episode, so on to the things that suck about living in the Midwest. Top 3 things. Now we can go generic. We can go a little bit crazy. We can do whatever we want to. I'll start off with my number 3 because I do feel it's a little generic.
Okay.
And I'll see if it ends up in yours. Potholes.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great one.
So I was thinking about potholes, and I was like, I don't want to just do traffic because I feel like there's traffic everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me take that out.
Yeah, like Los Angeles is way worse than
what we. And I feel like there's construction probably everywhere. The American infrastructure is horrible, and like
ours is bad though. That's a good call, man. That's a really good one.
But potholes stuck with me because it's like Midwest. I feel has the worst potholes. You know, if you go to like warmer climate, I don't know how bad the potholes are, and I have no clue if I'm right or wrong on that. But I was like, I know I've almost completely fallen into potholes here.
Oh yeah.
And so that was my number 3. I always hit one, and my car always gets completely destroyed. So
Well, it's like even when you try to go slowly and it's just like even worse, like
Yeah,
how just
yeah,
like you get,
yeah.
it's, god damn it.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, mine are, a lot of them are more Chicago based just because, I'm more familiar here,
Yeah.
but I know we're similar in the Midwest, but, yeah, I hate to talk about the weather, but I have specifically just like the 100-degree weather changes we have, like from one part of the year to the other, just how insane it is. Even right now, and I mean, it's not just the Midwest, it's everywhere, but like this disgusting heat wave we have now where it should be about 20 degrees colder. But yeah,
it's almost like global warming is your number 3.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it's kind of cool because it's 80 degrees in September,
and our winters are only about a month and a half now, and we only get snow for like a week. But yeah, so that kind of sucks too. Like I've always hated that. Like I used to love snow on Christmas, and it's like it's like usually still like 50 degrees. And,
haven't had that in a while.
But yeah, just that huge. I mean, like that the temperatures can shift that much. Like where we're at. I mean, like
that's a good one. I like that. It is like kind of a where we are type situation.
And we know this too. And I was talking at a garage sale the other day. I was talking with a woman, and I'm just like about the heat, and she's like, I know I have to keep like reminding myself that I've lived here my whole life. Mm-hmm. And it's like we still every time it's like this weather, and it's like it's no different than last year.
And a potent notable for me was going to be weather related, which was tornadoes. Because I feel like we get tornadoes all the time, and they seem to be, especially around here, like.
Have you ever been like seen like an actual tornado, or been? I'm guessing no, as far as being like affected by one, but
I mean, been close enough. Like we were in the Dells 15 years ago, and there was like warnings, and they made us all leave the hotel rooms and go into a certain like room.
Wow.
And then I ran to the roof to like look at them, and you can see like tunnels and stuff like.
You actually saw funnel clouds?
Yeah, I've definitely seen funnel clouds, but like from a distance.
Yeah, it's still though. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I'm terrified of like tornadoes in general.
Yeah,
and we had like. Within the past 2 months, one day where it was the most tornadoes ever in Chicago. There was like 25 in the Chicagoland area in one night or whatever it was. It was pretty crazy. So that was going to be one of my potent notables until I got to my number 2.
All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is one that has recently come to light, but it's been a problem for a very long time. Immigrants eating dogs.
Oh God!
Now, I don't want to say that this is fake, right? Yeah. Because this has been a problem worldwide. I've been all over the Midwest, everywhere I go. Immigrant, dog, eating.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Every single one. I haven't seen the cats. I haven't seen the geese. But the immigrants eating the dog. I've seen illegal immigrants eating dogs. I've seen legal immigrants eating dogs. I've seen people who I assumed were immigrants eating dogs. I don't know. Maybe they weren't.
This is a Midwest thing.
This is just the Midwest. Yeah. I've been to California. Never saw it.
No dog eating.
A lot of immigrants in California. Never seen them eat a dog. They're enjoying the weather. They're having a good time. Adoption events. I don't know if you've had this, but like there's adoption events at places in the Midwest.
You mean
all
pet
the time.
adoption?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they'll have like, hey, we happen to get rid of 170 dogs. They're all adopted. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think they got adopted. Or it was like one. I'll say immigrant. Just one immigrant who was like, hey, I have a large home. I'll take care of them. But nobody ever checks on the dogs again.
Not the cats, though. Just dogs.
I mean, I've only seen the dogs. Okay. I see it regularly. So that's why it had to be my number 2.
That's a good one.
Wait, so you haven't seen this?
Not in the Midwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought it was just in was it Springfield?
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, what do we got next? All right, this one I guess
Did something happen in Springfield?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Never. This one, you know what? As I was writing this down, I was kind of thinking it's also charming, but it is kind of annoying, and it's like our you know that one when we run into people or what? That's like our sorry, like that's in solid. Canada, it's like the for whatever reason the Midwest thing. It's always like
yeah.
And I'm guessing everyone who's listening that doesn't live in Singapore will know what we're talking about because you're all friends and family. But yeah, and then also I don't know if this is a Midwest thing. I think it's just a white guy thing. That face, if you're watching on YouTube, anytime we pass someone, it's not a smile, but it's kind of a nod and just a, your eyes for whatever reason widen.
Is that a Midwest thing?
I don't. You know what? I saw the thing that reminded me of it is I saw something on Instagram, I think, and it was more just like white people. So it's like, I know, and it just did make me think of mannerisms. But yeah, I love
agree.
that one.
I agree.
And there's still like the Midwest debate, like pop and soda. For which I say both of them, to be honest with you. I don't know whichever one sounds better at the time. What do you say?
I say pop.
Okay.
I've never said the other word in my life, and I refuse to start now.
Yeah, no.
No, that's pretty good. Although for me, I like ope. So
that's why I said it's kind of charming too, because it's like everyone, like you thought of it for a second, you're like, yeah, that's right, because it's just like, oop.
It's just a part of like your daily thing.
It's essentially our way of saying excuse me. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my number one is also one. It could be a positive or a negative. I personally think it's a negative, but there is an argument to be made for the positive, and it's the fact that in the Midwest that there are so many like cities so close together that we convince ourselves that like it's a vacation when we go 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I recently went to Madison for the first time. I didn't realize it was 2 hours away. And now I'm like, oh, well, if a band comes to Madison, I could just go see them and come home that night.
The same night.
And, like, I'll still be home by, like, midnight or whatever. So, like, it's cool that we have, Madison. Milwaukee's an hour and a half from where we are.
Yeah.
Michigan is 2 hours away, like getting into Michigan. Indiana's an hour 15 minutes away. It takes longer to get to Chicago from where we are
than to leave the state.
To leave, yeah, exactly. And so like it's easy for us to be like, oh, we'll just take a weekend in Milwaukee. Well, you don't really have to. You could just go for a day and be like,
it's essentially you're not in your house, so it's like vacation.
So the reason why I think it's a negative is it keeps us from going on real vacations where you like have to go to like a coast,
like fly somewhere,
you have to get on an airplane, or exactly. So that's the only negative reason. The positive is like, going anywhere is always a good time. Whatever.
We took a plane one time, Joni and I, to a wedding that was in St. Louis. It was in Missouri, maybe Springfield, Missouri, actually, speaking of Springfield. And we just like, I don't know what, maybe we were just doing well financially at the time, but it was like, you know what, we don't want to drive. We took a plane that was like a 40-minute flight. It was just like, what the hell did we pay for?
Yeah.
It was like a small-ass plane, too, like probably one from Pilot Pete's over there.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
So what is your number one?
My number one, and this one is Chicago-based. It's the sports teams.
Okay.
I love them all, except for the Cubs, but they're in the same shit show as everyone else in Chicago right now. The White Sox are coming off of their worst season in history and also one of the historically bad seasons in MLB. Moving forward, the Blackhawks are going nowhere. The Bulls just got rid of DeRozan, and they're being led by Zach LaVine, who's the worst leader in basketball. The Cubs are just kind of sitting stagnant, and the Bears, I mean, they're 1-0, but they looked terrible in that win. But you know what? They're looking up, but I'm just saying we never get to have perennial things like the Yankees or the,
I will say it's very, very Illinois of us to be like, we're talking about the Midwest. We're just going to go to Chicago.
Well, that's me because, like,
the rest of it doesn't matter.
I mean, I wanted to call out our shitty teams, but I mean, like, I don't know if that's just Chicago, but I know it's definitely Midwest,
I think
and then the weather is similar.
Going to Costco, like, people who are like, we're going to Costco.
Like, it's like it's got to be a big thing.
Yeah, it's a Midwest. Costco. That's a Midwest thing, I think. Well, anyway, it's solid.
All right.
The sports teams do suck.
I do have one potent notable.
Okay.
And it's tolls. Actually, I just thought of that because it reminded me of the potholes, because tolls are not everywhere.
Where is that an Illinois only thing?
It's not Illinois, but we're one of like a handful of states that have them.
Yeah, I remember hearing like it was supposed to be something that ended in like 1983, and then they just continued.
I'm sure you guys noticed on your way back from the Dells a few weeks ago, you're not even in Illinois for like 5 minutes before the first one comes up.
Yeah, and of course all that money does go to help fix the roads.
Yeah, which again we're idiots for staying here. Yeah, the potholes because it's the shift in the weather.
I will say this though, I don't want to leave Illinois.
No, me neither. I'm good.
Okay, go somewhere else. No, Illinois is
Think of the commute for these podcasts, man. I'd have to.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's it. That was our top 3 worst things about living in the Midwest, which means it's time to pick our new topic for next week's episode.
All right.
How do we do this? In the bucket. Where it is. There it is. Now let's see if it actually will work this week. Oh no, a fire is starting from the twine. Okay.
It's always
every time.
the
Yeah, the
TV.
screen will break at one of these points.
Okay, and again, I do have full veto power on these.
Full veto power.
Full
If you
veto
don't like
power.
it, get rid of it.
We'll put it back.
Okay.
Not feeling it right now.
All right. Next week's episode is.
Nope. Very similar to the last one. All right. I swear, this is going to be it. Okay, this is a good one. I like this. Top 3 things people can say to you to annoy you or make you angry.
Okay.
So, we love complaining on this show.
Not me. Look at the bucket. It's going to tip. Oh, God.
There
All
we
right.
go. Look at that.
That was the first bucket disaster we almost had here.
All right. So yeah, next week that's what we will be talking about. So
Okay.
bring your anger with you and send yours in if you want.
sasaandgoff@gmail.com. We'll see you next week.
Later.